You want to pull the camera? Hello.
We are live.
Welcome.
Okay, hang on.
We're live.
There we go.
Live.
Hello. We are live.
Happy Sunday, if it's Sunday where you're at, or happy Monday.
Yeah.
If it's Monday where you're at.
And welcome to the Mended Light moments where we're going to celebrate you and your successes in your mental health journey. So yeah, I've got people who have shared what their successes, their wins, as well as how Mended Light has positively affected. I'm going to share my win with you guys. I started Invisalign. So you can't really even see it on camera, but that's why I sound a little bit like a teenager with a retainer on.
I didn't even notice. Is it because I don't pay attention?
It's because you don't listen to me when I talk.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
But since you're on this side, I'm going to ask you to keep track of comments as they come through because you can see.
I'd love to. I'd love to keep track of comments.
You can see what people are saying. Scoot over a little. There we go.
Cozy.
Let's get cozy.
We're so cozy.
Get cozy.
I keep looking at our screen, which is here, but you guys are here.
So for those who are joining us and haven't done this before, Mended Light Moments is something we do every month.
Well, so we want to create more community.
Yes.
Like, it would be so fun just to be able to sit down and hang out with everyone and all the things on a regular basis. Like, the beauty of the internet is we get to connect from all over the world. The not beauty of the internet is we don't get to connect as much as if we were in person.
Yes.
And so the goal here is these are one of the things that we're doing to try and create community. And actually I have some other ideas we're going to talk about a little bit later, and I'd love your thoughts on them. But yeah, like, we just want to hang out with you more. So if you have ideas on how to do that, like, give us your ideas.
So every month we share their wins, their mental health wins, both how Mended Light has affected their life, but also even if it has nothing to do with Mended Light, just what are your wins?
Right.
Because we want to celebrate the community. We also declare the winners from our membership site. People who have been engaging a lot with the online courses that we have. Right now we have a course on self-compassion that Alicia and I have put together. We're doing a podcast on Zachary Levi's Radical Love book. Yeah. And then we have live Q&A. So people who are on that membership site and engaging.
Which I was surprised how much I enjoyed that book. Good job choosing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I've chosen most of the books so far.
Yeah.
This is the second one that you've chosen.
The first was Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh, no, I guess you've picked 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
heck yeah.
Anyways.
I'm basically a librarian. What are people saying?
Yeah. Oh,
let your little
Carubio, it's 3 a.m. here, but it's worth it. Hello. Carubio, her screen name, she's a member. We spend a lot of time with her. We love her. Hello, Darth Haven. Hi, Don B.
Dark
Elijah.
Wolf.
Way to be at the gym, Elijah, and be on here.
Our videos Mental Light videos help me so much, and lots of therapy cats, LOL.
Love the therapy cats.
I wish I weren't allergic to cats so they could therapize me.
So I had taken my son and my daughter, my 13 and 17-year-old, over to a couple that live in our neighborhood, an older couple that needed some help moving heavy things. And they had a couple of cats. And I didn't know that my 17-year-old was so into cats. He just sat down and started like petting and holding this cat. He then started to sneeze a lot 5 minutes later. And I was like, oh, that's too bad.
He's always full of surprises, that kid.
Yeah. But I was like, have you always been a cat person, or is this something new? And my 13-year-old, they're close. The 17-year-old's a boy and 13-year-old's a girl. They're
chummy.
Yeah, they're close, which is super cute. I love that for them. And she says to me, she's like, he's always been into cats, Mom. And I'm like, sorry, I missed that.
Gosh,
detail.
Mom.
Yeah.
Get with it. Your Master Yourself with Yoda video from the Clone Wars inspired me to use a talking point and about running from acceptance, you said, with my mother, and it worked. Thank you. You're very welcome. That was Darth Raven. Darth Raven, definitely a Star Wars person because Darth is right there in the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here a wee beat, guys. I'm like, if you don't know this about me, like, I'm like an 80-year-old person at heart. Like, I barely handle social media or even know what to do with it. So if I misread your screen names, I'm sorry. Like, anyway, but so Hera Weeby, hello from Canada. Hello. We're so glad you could be here. Oh, so here's another question.
Yeah.
Before you start reading people's wins. And yeah, share your wins in the comments and I'll read them. We do these lives once a month we try to be as consistent as possible as far as date and time. We try and keep them to a Sunday because that's the day, at least Sunday for us, because that's the day we have the least amount of other things that could get in the way most often.
Yeah.
But is this a good time for you? Is there another time that would be better? I know it's like for Europe and Asia. Well, Asia right now is fine, but Europe, it's the middle of the night. So
probably not a good fit. It's hard to please everybody.
Hard.
Let us know if you're watching live, your wins right now, your mental health and life wins. But I'm going to start going through what people.
Don B78 says, I can't tell you how much both of your channels have helped me. That's what we're here for.
Thank you.
We love it.
Terry Waters, Mended Light is helping my husband and I understand the opposites in each other and opening a bridge of better combination. So thank you. You're very welcome. We have been reflecting lately, especially just how we cover a lot of ground between the two of us. We cover all the ground because we're polar opposites.
Yeah.
Terry Waters also says, finding the courage to put up boundaries and walk away from toxic family because my own peace and happiness is worth more than that loyalty I've shown all my life.
Yeah. And that's hard, but it's a win.
Yeah, it's absolutely a win. Chelsea Bradham, after 4 months of unemployment, financial hardship, and all the stress and lost sleep that comes with that, not only did I get a job, but I found the courage to start therapy. Mended Light videos work in tandem with that and are helping me overcome the trauma I experienced as a child and young adult. Go you. Good job, Chelsea.
Dark Wolf says, my win is I'm not letting bad news keep me down. I've taken a page from Bluey, have a cry, pick myself up, dust myself off, and keep going. I love Bluey. That. I know Bluey is like a worldwide sensation. I haven't watched any of it because I don't watch a lot of things, but I've heard great things.
It's so wholesome and uplifting.
Yeah.
And Ted Lasso is essentially Bluey with F words, but they're the same. They come from the same. They're the same wholesome sweetness thing.
Hi, Emma Rose. My middle name's Rose.
Alexander Chamberlain. I finally got medication last week for ADHD, and the compulsive obsessive hoops have completely gone away. Good for you. So I can keep going with these. I just want to. Sorry, a little off. It's a little bit of a weird day.
Okay. Question.
Yeah, we're also doing, that's right. This is also a Q&A, a mini Q&A.
Yeah. So, okay. Selena's win and then a question. Selena says, I'm like, I don't know. Does it matter that I keep cutting my face off so I can lean forward enough to read these? Selena says, my win as of right now is I'm pregnant, fighting nausea and fatigue on a daily basis, but I'm hoping it lasts a few more weeks. I feel for you, having done that 5 times and being severely sick every time.
Yeah.
Hypermesis gravitum, whatever Latin word that just makes you throw up all the time. That's me. It's magical.
But congratulations on bringing a human life into the world.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal and a huge sacrifice. I don't know firsthand, but I had a front row seat and it's intense. What was the question?
Oh, question. Adela says, John and Alicia, what is your favorite PBS Kids show? I love Wildcrats. They were my therapeutic dose before you. And so if you're new around here and you don't know that Alan is Jono's movie wife, because like media is not, it's not that media, like videos and TV shows aren't my thing. And it's not that they're not good. I just,
you don't like to do that for your recreation or relaxation. You like to be more active, generally more adventurous. And
if I am chill, I'm reading a book.
I finally got her, as part of our marital arrangement, Alicia's been getting into TV shows like at bedtime because like I can massage your feet and you can fall asleep to the show because it helps your brain to like, you're only invested enough to like stop doing this with your brain, but you're not invested enough to stay awake. And so the next day you're like, what did I miss on the last episode? I'm like the last 40 minutes of it. That's what you missed.
But I do love Wildcrats. That's something my kids were littler, we would watch together kind of as a schoolish reward thing. Yeah. Do you have a favorite PBS?
I think Bluey is on PBS Kids as well as Disney.
Yeah. I bet I would be a fan of that if I watched it.
The educational stuff that I like to watch with my kids isn't specifically for kids, but what we love to watch together, they love nature documentaries. Like on Netflix, Our Planet and Our Planet 2, or the BBC, Planet Earth. We love watching nature documentaries together. That we love watching the animals and everything. We're definitely an animal family, hence the Wildcrats. So yeah.
Charissa Wynn is deciding to try dating sometime in the future, working with my therapist on my fears, including that if it's the right guy, I would sabotage out of fear, having seen my parents divorce last year.
Oh.
And Emma and I have the same middle name.
Well, Teresa, that's a huge one. Way to work towards that. If that's what your heart wants, then knowing how to date smart, we've got a, I know this sounds like self-promotion, and it is, but it's here. It's to help.
It's support.
It's support. We've got a course on smart dating on our membership site that we did, like a whole 8 video series on how to date. Did
we do a book on smart dating? Or?
How to avoid falling in love with a jerk.
Yeah, that's what I thought. One of our podcasts, we did call it a book club, but then we decided that was too intimidating, gave maybe off the wrong vibe. It's more like a podcast where we discuss certain subjects we read a book and that follow a book. And so we have a course and a book / podcast on how to avoid falling for a jerk. And that was actually a program you got trained in. Didn't you help research on it in graduate school? And then you got trained and taught it for a university when we were newly married?
When we were newly married, I became certified to teach how to avoid falling in love with a jerk based on the book. In graduate school, I wasn't involved in the... Well, no, I was actually. Yeah. I did code data for people who took the course. So I wasn't involved in the development of the course, but like the follow-up and revisions, I had a hand.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. And so he was...
It's data coding, so I blocked it out, is what happened. It's not my favorite part.
So this was like a decade ago, maybe a little more. And he's like watching these videos at home to get trained in this course. And I'm like, this is so helpful. I would have not gotten married so many times if I had had this information.
It's a really good book and a really good course.
That's my endorsement for it.
Sarah Zwinski, Sarah Zewnicki. My greatest success this month so far has been to be thankful for my feelings even when I don't know what I'm feeling or why. I'm happy for my feelings. I don't have to control them. Mended Light has helped me know that feelings just are.
Oh, that's a huge win. So, random question for you, Jono. Is there a term for a fear of being teased?
I don't know. There probably is. There's all sorts of phobias, not to my knowledge, like what the actual name is. But I think that's a very human, natural fear. We don't like to feel embarrassed. We don't like to feel put down. That's
going to be a bigger deal for a dreamer and a healer.
A healer especially. We're so sensitive.
Yeah.
Pandemonium. Their name is Pandemonium. I love it. We celebrated our 3rd anniversary tonight. Happy anniversary. That's awesome.
Heather says, you guys inspired me to seek counseling for my anxiety. It truly helped, and I am in a much better place now. Thanks for your help.
Aww.
I love it. And I love it in the comment section when you guys share each other, like support each other in your wins.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna lightning round this, and you can find the ones. Okay, Tadpole has an appointment for a gender assignment to start the process of getting top surgery. So you gotta do what makes you feel happy and what makes you feel comfortable in your own skin. Mickey Risenmay got interview for internship to start for me to get my hours to be a mental health therapist. And we've helped them through graduate school and have a lot of fun learning and doing it. Oh, and we're amazing examples of who he hopes to be like someday and his future relationship.
Oh, I love that.
Well,
Rachel Ruby is going through CPTSD therapy, EMDR treatments, and she found trauma yoga. Trauma yoga can be so powerful because especially when it comes to, like, we store emotions in our body. And so doing movement that helps us release those emotions is powerful.
Yeah. Okay. Uncle Smidge, surviving as tried as it sounds, the worst week of mine and my husband's life. It was almost his last. We're here and navigating the haystack of medical insurance, various red tape that comes with a near fatal car crash. But we're as madly in love as ever, and our partnership will make it suck way less. I know Uncle Smidge personally. We've met. She's come to some cinema therapy meetups and has done really killer art.
Oh yeah.
Did I ever show you? If not, I'll show you the art where I'm I'm like a minstrel.
No, you can never show me that one.
It's medieval. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal, and I'm glad your husband's okay, and that you're getting through it. You're super strong.
Writer. Mine win is just overall I'm more confident and not as anxious about life, and I'm okay being single, and more importantly, okay being me. That's a huge win.
It is. Gingerbread, beginning a long-term project with a close friend and going week by week with goals instead of trying to bite it all off at once, which is awesome. We have Soma Brood, ran the modeling component and main part of the lesson for a classroom with students for the first time and really effectively used cold calling. It just sort of came to me, just growing as a teacher, and had a discovery call with a member of our team. That was really helpful. So yeah, by the way, like you can meet with someone for your individual specific needs. Mendedlight.com. We've got a team of counselors here to help. Any questions for the Q&A that are coming in? If you just a reminder for those who are watching, we're doing a Q&A right now. If you've got live questions, we're doing a live Q&A and celebrations. T Beetle 89, T Betty 89. Man, I'm getting old. My eyes. I'm holding on to healthy boundaries. Very little communication with most of my family after years of gaslighting and abuse. We're polite, but I pull back on my side. I have adopted family that's amazing. And sometimes found family is the best family of all. So good for you. And way to set boundaries.
How can someone go about expressing their health concerns? For example, Emily is having a hard time with letting stress get a hold of her, and it's causing health issues, and she needs to speak with her boss about it, and she's scared. So I would sometimes a lot of times we build things up in our mind. We get scared because we feel vulnerable, right? A lot of times. I mean, not always, but there's a vulnerability aspect. And from the way you wrote this, I would imagine there's a vulnerability aspect for you. And I would also venture to say that in the past, it hasn't been safe for you to feel vulnerable. And so even if there's no reason to be scared in this situation, even though if you know your boss is a considerate, caring individual in general, but also towards you, and you're like, I'm feeling stressed about this. It's because we attach our previous experiences to our current experiences, right? Like it's a web of experiences, and it can be triggering for us. And so me being a very logical person, what helps me is to realize, one, the awareness, what's going on for me. And I'm just guessing. So that if this isn't exactly what's going on for you, like still follow the path, but, fill in the blanks of like, oh, I'm feeling vulnerable. Why am I feeling vulnerable? Oh, it's because in the past, it hasn't been safe for me to feel vulnerable. I know my boss to be a kind and considerate person who cares about me. And even just talking to them about it will take a huge load off. And then if there are moments where stress is affecting my health, I can then go to my boss and say, hey, this is what's going on for me. Like, what are possible solutions? Or here's what I think some of my solutions are. But so often it's just built up in our head as something that it's not, because it reminds us of a past situation.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Read a great book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Mm-hmm. And my biggest takeaway from that book is that all of our fears, literally all of them, can be boiled down to one simple thought. And that thought is, I can't handle this, right? That's what if you think about it, no matter what the fear is, at the bottom of that foundation was, I can't handle it. And so recognizing that if you have this conversation with your boss and it doesn't go well, you can handle it. You've got friends, you've got family, you've got support, and you have your innate intelligence, your innate ability to think of solutions, whatever happens, whatever may go awry. That's if worst case scenario. Like what I like to do in my head is not say worst case scenario is going to happen. Just in my head, I say if it happens,
what's the worst that could possibly
happen, and what would I do?
Right. And then you're like, oh, the worst isn't actually that bad, and that's not even going to happen.
Right. And then once in a while, the worst is actually pretty bad, and then you're like, okay, well, I better come up with a plan, because if you're prepared, you're not afraid, right? And so that would be my advice for that.
What is your favorite books? I love books. I have so many books. But my favorite book right now is called Good Morning, I Love You. And it's on self-compassion. It's a really great book.
Growing up, I read a lot of novels. Les Miserables, Count of Monte Cristo. A big thing for Victor Hugo, apparently.
My favorite book as a child was The Little Engine That Could and Mike Mulligan's Steam Shovel. They both have very similar, like, not storylines, but like meanings.
Yeah.
And if you've read either of those two books, like The Little Engine That Could is a lot more well known. Very few people have heard of Mike Mulligan's and his Steam Shovel. But those pretty much sum up my life, who I am as a person.
Growing up, one of my favorite books was called Maniac McGee. And it was about this kid who was an orphan, and he had or he was from an abusive home. I can't remember, but he just started running like Forrest Gump. And then what he does is, like, he's just amazing at baseball. There's all these legendary tales. He unties like the world's largest knot and wins $1,000, like all these different things. And then in the middle of the book, he like runs into a black neighborhood, and you realize that this is like 1960s segregated.
Wow.
And here's the thing: I'm a kid reading this. I look at this now, 21st century. Some people could say, well, it's a little white savior. It's the story of the black community through the eyes of a white kid. That's probably fair. But as a white kid reading this growing up, you take a character, and if you're a little white boy, you're reading this and you're like, this is my hero. I want to be this kid. And then he learns about racism and segregation and hatred, and you go through these eyes, and I don't know, like, for me, it was foundational in helping me to grow up to be who I am. Right. So take that for what it's worth. And lately we've been doing a lot of therapy books or relationship books or mental health books. I was a big fan of Real Love and Post-Childhood Stress Disorder.
Oh yeah, that's
and by was, I mean too.
I've read that book.
And Real Love.
Yeah.
And of course, Man's Search for Meaning. Mm-hmm. They did this thing on Cinema Therapy.
So if you want to be a part of our favorite books, you can, and I'm not saying you need to, but that's basically what we do in the membership.
Yeah.
Is in the podcast version. Is we discuss our favorite
Every
books.
month we're reading a new book and talking about it.
Because we're nerdy like that.
On Cinema Therapy, they did like this impromptu game show that was improvised in the moment of how long has it been since Jono's mentioned Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, yeah, is this, apparently I do it a lot, but whatever. Lena Voices started learning guitar after putting it aside and postponing it. You can relate to that.
Yeah. So, Carubio.
Carubio Wakaisa is how I want to say it.
Carubio. Okay. Feelings just are should be merch. That should be merch. Would you guys? We're trying to delve into merch more. I'm working on it. Like a T-shirt, a hat, a bookmark, like a mug. What are you guys thinking? What would you like? Let us know.
Lightning round. Robin Nicolgen.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't have work, didn't have a place to live, now has both. It says, I'm still piss poor, but things are looking up compared to a few weeks ago. Good for you. Whoa, my hand is huge when I do that. Where's my head? You know what's funny? If I do this or I do this, you can't really tell the difference. I have the head, I have a face of a thumb. Looks exactly the same. Okay, rules. Help their family a lot, help them with work and financially. And what they like most about Mended Light and Cinema Therapy too is that it proves to me that they're happy and good people, happy and good relationships and friendships, and happy and good families. A really big majority of people and media platforms tend to focus on the bad things. Divorces, breakups, struggling people, etc. And sometimes makes me think that life is just one great struggle for almost everyone who is not extremely lucky. But the people in these channels show me that there are genuinely good people in the world, and that people can have a good life if they work for it. You're my role models and the beacon of goodness and hope in my life. Thank you. Dang. That's super powerful and very sincere and very beautiful. I have no desire to offer any sort of amendment or correction other than just to say, we try to be decent. We try to be good. We try to have a good relationship and a strong friendship. If you've been watching our marriage problems videos, you know we've come to divorce several times. Like, good people struggle. Good people have hardship. Good people experience negativity or sadness or anger. And what I don't know. I mean, if you're calling us good, I'll take the compliment. I think what, if anything, makes us good, it's that we're trying, trying to have integrity, trying to be decent, trying to be kind. Definitely fall short. Alicia is just mean. She just screams every day and swears all the time at everyone she sees. Sometimes it's strangers at Costco. And no, the strangers at Costco thing was actually someone yelling at our child. Did you yell back at them though? Because that was you just gave them the stare.
No.
That's a whole story, but
yeah, no, someone was verbally attacking our child for acting like a child, and yeah, I mean, he was being spastic. He's 6, and I wasn't, but it wasn't like, it was just normal 6-year-old behavior. Like, it wasn't anything inappropriate or out of line. And I just looked at them and then said, "I'm sure you never behaved that way when you were 6." And she was like, I have a 10-year-old child and they've never behaved that way. And I just looked at them and said, "Yeah, and I'm sure you never behaved that way when you were 6." And then we live now in the Midwest. And so of course people, like, it's always, I was talking to someone about
people are so nice in the Midwest.
People are so nice in the Midwest. Like, I love it. Like, I just walked around for months being like, this is magical. And we moved from like, Utah's known as a nice state. Yeah. Like, it's not like we moved from a place that
was really rough and tumble.
Yeah, no. And so when people are rude, it's like everybody else is like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And I literally had people coming up to me at Costco and being like, "I'm so sorry, that person's behavior was out of line." Because there is a time when you need to, like, go mama bear on someone, and I've done that. But there's also a time where that and it's totally a choice of the individual in the situation. But I think there's a time when the thing to do is to be firm, but calm.
Yeah.
So their behavior looks all that much more ridiculous. And that's what happened. But I'm so far behind, and I want to share everybody's wins. So even just know that, like, if you're writing them, we love them, we appreciate them, we celebrate them.
I have 2 more, and then we can just full-time this.
Well, we may need to move on to the Q&A.
Ag Maglinite finished their novel in 2 weeks' time, and Kimrata Sue passed their 2nd year of university, going on to the 3rd and final year. So go team, go. You guys are awesome. What do you got? So someone asked if I will ever consider going on cinema therapy, even though I'm not a movie person, but to share my views, amazing and wise views on trauma and trauma recovery. I mean, you can answer that, but the biggest issue with Alicia going on cinema therapy is the one movie she would just, like, knock out of the park. We already did an episode on. No, did you guys already do remember the Titans? Yeah, we did. Well, remember when we had just James TM on there? Oh, yeah, that's fun. Yeah. No, that's my favorite movie, but there's lots more that would be good to talk about on trauma and stuff. Maybe it's a possibility. One of my favorite books is Blessed Are the Weird. Never read it. I am going to read it based on the title. That is totally my jam. Favorite book is Frankenstein. Yes, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Well, Alicia's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, for those who haven't read it, is incredibly profound and emotional and intellectual, and it's been so diluted and watered down through the Hollywood machine, even though the black and white Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein from the 30s are actually. But yeah, if you haven't read Frankenstein, I was shocked at how profound and beautiful and tragic that book is. So fun. Okay, Alicia loves the Steam Shovel books. Hey, Alicia, here's a question. How did you become so knowledgeable about these therapy topics? Did you learn from Jono? Yes, I have taught her everything she knows. She just likes to sit there and listen to me. Okay, so I do things. Your question was very good and genuine. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because of what it's actually like behind the scenes, not because I thought your question was bad. Your question was lovely. I just know. Okay, go ahead. So here's some of my personality, and if you guys aren't if you're in our membership course, take our personalities course. It's fine. If that's not a fit for you right now, you can go watch our marriage series videos. One of those, we do a deep dive on the personalities, and then we cover it to certain extents in other videos. Yeah. But there's one of the videos in Marrying Your Opposite where we do a pretty good job of explaining all the personalities. I am a thinker closer. So it's not that other personality types don't think, but it's that thinkers go about everything in a very logical, systematic, orderly way. And they're looking for the truth, and the truth is what matters. The closer, so thinkers can sometimes obsess with perfectionism.
And I relate to that, but I would say like a very much less, more mature, immature version of me. Like that, I didn't obsess over perfectionism for, I don't know, 25 years. That's something that because every behavior exists on a spectrum, and for every personality type, it looks different as an immature version, and then spectrum of maturity as you get more mature.
Sure.
But thinkers tend to be perfectionists, and closers, their number one goal is to get things done and just accomplish it. So if my life had a tagline, it would be "Do it perfectly now," which is not intense. I say that with sarcasm. And so that is the way that I have interacted with the world my entire life. And so I was really young when I went to college. And so I'd say ever since like my mid-teenage years, I was in college, but my mid-teenage years, people have just been like, "Alicia, will you have a blog? Because I just want to understand how you do things." And I'm like, guys, I'm not like a social media person. Like, I know I'm here, but it's the team that makes it so I can be here. And then people are like, "Can I just follow you around? Because I find it so fascinating how you do things." And there's been a blessing and a curse in that intensity of my personality, is because I find something that's worthwhile and I latch onto it and I dive into it very deeply.
Mm-hmm.
And so to answer your question about how I've learned so much, one, I've experienced a lot of,
trauma.
I've experienced a lot of trauma in a lot of different forms. Because of my tenacity, I did not allow that trauma to define me. But instead, I chose to become educated on it.
Yeah.
And after living in that space for a couple decades, there is a combination of very real life experience, but also an understanding of the academia. And to be honest, and this is what I've gained from being married to you for almost a decade and a half, it is a better understanding of the academia. But I by no means have read like more books on therapy than you did in graduate school. But I would say I, on a regular basis, read more therapeutic books now than maybe you do.
Now that we've started the membership site, I'm keeping in touch with you because we read the same amount of books. Not the same amount of books.
Well, but I'm just saying that's not to say you don't read.
Listen, I graduated. I never wanted to pick up a book again after graduate school.
Well, and that's not to say that you don't read therapy books.
What I do I do more YouTube videos, continuing education courses,
right,
like stuff like that.
But that's how much my study, that's how much my personal energy and effort into it. So it's a combination of experience, education, and being married to you, because I've learned far more about clinical psychology from you than I ever had anyone else.
Huh.
But I also, I hear something and I remember it. It forever fits into my life.
I'd say what you've learned most from me is probably what things look like in application in a therapy office.
Yeah.
And what a therapeutic process would look like. As you all know, because you see me on these channels, I love narrative. I love fiction. I get power from story. And the whole reason, I do TV on Mended Light, I do cinema on cinema therapy, is because I find that academia is powerful, but it only truly strongly appeals to thinkers.
Yeah.
And so there's all this incredibly salient, helpful information that's just sitting there.
But it's not packaged in a connective way.
In a way that your average person is going to latch onto it.
Right.
And so that's.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Question for you.
Okay.
Any tips on how to hold on to motivation? There's a lot of things I want to do and can do, but I struggle with being consistent with them.
I'm now 2 months into a consistent exercise program that I've been trying to get started on for over a decade. And so I know all about how to fail at motivation. I guess the thing that is helping me the most is giving myself permission. And honestly, psychologically, I realized the block that was there is, and this has to do with exercise, but you're talking about motivation, right? when it comes to your own self-improvement, your own self-growth, for a lot of people, myself included, it's actually believing I'm worth giving time to. I'm worth cultivating time and energy to take care of me and to do right by me. Because a lot of us, we give to others, or we give to our responsibilities, or the things that we should do, or the things that we're supposed to do, or the things we've committed to do. But if we don't love ourselves, it's like, I should make time to exercise. I should make time to get more sleep. I should make time for this, that, and the other. But we prioritize what matters to us. And we need to give ourselves permission to prioritize us. And when I started to let go of my self-loathing and sit with self-compassion and self-love, which is something we talk a lot about in this month's membership course, I found that making time became easier. And talking to Alicia, for example, and saying, hey, this is, because she's really good at this. So I'm following her example and saying, hey, I need this for me. How can we work this in? How can we make it work? So that's kind of a tangential answer to your question. When it comes to motivation, I think habit trumps motivation.
Discipline, but we're going to be doing a book later in the membership site called Tiny Habits. The understanding that we have on how to actually cultivate successful habits is drastically misunderstood.
Yeah.
And so we're going to deep dive into that book, but then we're also going to create a course on how to successfully create habits, because the reality is that's just a human nature struggle.
Yeah.
Is creating successful habits. But very, very short answer, tiny steps and consistency. Yeah. Right? Like, we're like, oh, I want to become ripped next month, so I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to change my diet. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, what's one thing you can start applying today?
Do it consistently. Yeah. Add the next thing.
Like 5 minutes of walking. If that's the next step, 5 minutes of walking.
Sorry, these are funny. Yeah. Thank you, Jono, for being real and vulnerable. Putting people on a pedestal is never great. And then Adele says, yeah, continues to put Jono on a pedestal anyway. I wish I was more like Jono. I don't think he has an angry bone in his body, and the only bone I feel like I do have is anger. Slight correction. I don't have a mean bone in my body. I definitely have an angry bone. Anger bone.
You didn't think you had an anger bone until you became a parent.
And I'm like, oh, there it is.
Guys, we did a live discussion yesterday on our membership site, and the discussion was on self-compassion, a pre-submitted question about anger, and I shared a 30-minute story on my journey with anger. The viewer said it was helpful because I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't mean to just like.
It was one question and then we took a half an hour to answer it. Sometimes we dive deep.
Yeah, but if you want to check out that membership site, because the short answer is we tend to vilify our anger because we don't know what to do with it in a healthy way. And I spent decades on that anger journey that started for me like from the time I was born, because that was the environment that I grew up in. And I just, 3 marriages and 5 kids later, I feel like I can handle anger in a healthy way.
Or of a mine. Sorry. I don't know why I did that.
Weird.
That was so weird. Hey, okay, what is your go-to meal to eat? I love Mexican and Italian. Big pasta person. We love Mexican food. Yeah. I'm pretty confident, actually, that if Mexican food didn't exist, we wouldn't have a marriage. It's got us through the hardest times. Like, late night burritos are real. We
live in a very rural area right now, and there are no late night Mexican anything. There's no late night anything.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge. So.
Okay. Do we have? I'll look for questions. You look for the winner, because do we have winners to announce, or are we?
Oh no, I haven't gotten that. I'm just trying to get caught up on all the wonderful.
Looking for question marks. What if I do read more kid-friendly books than adult books? Live your life. Kid-friendly books actually tend to be full of powerful messages that you don't have to sift through. Like sometimes on the nose is.
In the Steam Shovel movie.
Oh my gosh! There you go. What year did we get married? 2009.
Oh yeah, it was 2009.
December of 2009. Powerful story 2. Sorry guys, we're just so enjoying talking with you. Okay, John, do you know your family history?
What was the moment that made you decide to be a therapist? On a thinker healer. Bless you.
I knew I wanted to help people, but I also had ideas of being a filmmaker, a director, or an actor. And I applied to a film program. I was in college and I applied to the film program. I thought I was a shoo-in to get in. I just started working at a group home for at-risk teenagers, not as a therapist because I wasn't experienced or licensed. This is at the beginning of college, but as a mentor, as a youth mentor. And I at once got rejected from the film program and discovered that I was really enjoying my work at the group home. Like the group home job just kind of fell into my lap because I was looking for work and I knew somebody who said you'd probably be a good fit for this. And my experience at the group home directed me to change my major from rejected film student to psychology, which I did not regret. And I don't know if any of you watching have spent time in a group home or have worked at a group home, but it's hard work, but it's very rewarding work. And I've spent 4 years of my life doing that, and I loved it. Okay.
Okay, so I threw some questions on the right-hand side here.
Oh, okay. I hear a lot from others about healing your inner child. What does it look like? Scroll over a little bit so I can see their full question.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. What are your thoughts on that, and what does that look like? There is a much longer answer to that, and Alicia actually is qualified to speak on that a lot. But I'm going to answer that by recommending a movie, just like Alicia answers that by recommending a book. Watch a movie called Disney's The Kid, where Bruce Willis is an image consultant. He's turning 40. He's unhappy, and he's a jerk and a narcissist. And the 8-year-old version of himself kind of magically arrives, and he has to deal with his younger self. And he thinks it's his job to fix the kid. He thinks the kid's a overweight loser and needs to become a sexy, intelligent grown-up.
Well, he's trying to earn his worth through approval. Through
appearance. And but what he realizes is that it's actually the kid who's fixing him by helping him to remember things that he'd forgotten and helping him to reframe experiences from childhood as an adult in ways that help him to let go and see the world differently. I could talk a long time about inner child work, but if you actually just want to see it in a story, what it looks like, you'll watch the movie and it's super fun. And then in the third act, it hits you like a train in the best way.
Have you done a cinema therapy episode on that?
No, we did for the cinema therapy Patreon. We did for movies that aren't going to light YouTube on fire.
Yeah,
we tend to do like
a Patreon
thing on it.
That makes sense. Yeah. So what?
But we also talk about it in our self-compassion course. We
do. On Mended Light self-compassion course. Yeah. So is there anything I can do to cope with the current trauma triggers while I'm healing past trauma?
That's a you question.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We just like with anger, we tend to vilify or hate our triggers because it's an aspect. Coping with trauma typically looks like control, and we try and control things so we can cope, which isn't a bad thing. Like that's what gets us through the trauma. But that control aspect then becomes something that used to keep us safe to something that's keeping us stuck. And when we're in that place where emotionally we feel like our trauma is still defining us, that is absolutely the mindset that we're in. And for me, as a closers love a challenge. So for me, there was a lot of things that I didn't understand what was going on, but I want to fix things. I'm a fixer. Healers and dreamers don't want to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so they tend to be more avoidant. Thinkers tend to just try and logic their way out of things. And so whichever personality type you are, it doesn't really matter, but your coping mechanism might look a little bit different. But there's typically a control aspect. But the reality is we don't know what to do with our traumas. And so we don't know how to heal. But if we can make friends with the rejected parts of ourselves, because what's happening is we have created false, incongruent beliefs about what our trauma means.
Yeah.
We've said, this is my fault. I did something wrong. We've internalized it. And that is what has made it a trauma that we then feel defines us. And so those triggers are an indication of where your wounds are. But we don't know how to handle our wounds. And so we try to avoid them.
Yeah.
And so going through that process, and we have a program, it's called Innate Healing. It's like our membership site. There's a lot of our courses that you have access to. You can like DIY your own therapy if you want. The Innate Healing program is not one of those, because we feel like it's something you do need to go through with support, and it would be a disservice to be like, here, deal with this all on your own. But recognize that your trigger is an indication of where a wound is.
Yeah.
Right. And if it's a wound that you can get support for, and you can work through those incongruent beliefs, and you can change the meaning around those experiences. We don't change the meaning around it. We don't make it okay. And we don't just say, oh, forget about it. But we change the meaning around our experiences.
Yeah.
And then that removes the trigger.
It's called narrative therapy. And narrative therapy is what Alicia's just talking about.
Well, it's deeper than narrative therapy, because trauma is something that you carry in your body, but narrative therapy is an aspect of doing that, but it's not all of it.
No, but I mean, the core idea of narrative therapy is this: the facts of my story don't change, but I can reframe them. Like I can give them new meaning that is empowering and helpful. Here.
How do I deal with the shame related to my trauma response? So this is something we've talked about a lot lately on the membership site, but making friends with those rejected parts of yourself.
Yes.
Right. And it comes from the human need to be loved. Right. And most of us haven't experienced real love. We've experienced conditional love. And so we're trying to earn our worth by being good enough, by peer approval, by family acceptance, by accomplishments, by knowing the right answers. Like, we're trying to earn our worth. And there is belief or that there is shame around certain parts of who we are. And the shame comes from saying, here's an aspect of me, and that means I'm unlovable. And before I can be lovable, I have to change that aspect of me, which is not true. But it takes diving into those really vulnerable, long-held beliefs that we've carried with us to try and keep ourselves safe.
Yeah.
All in a desire to try and earn love. But the reality is, true love we cannot earn. True love is given. And we also don't earn our worth. It's innate. We brought it with us. And so that is the mission of what we do, regardless of your story, your experiences. It's that path of making friends with the rejected parts of ourselves, receiving real love, and recognizing that our worth is innate. And when you become that version of yourself, it's almost like a superpower, right?
Yeah.
Because you can be the best version of yourself. You can bring your passions, your gifts to your life and the world around you, and live as that joyful, unattached. And when I say unattached, I don't mean it in an unhealthy way. I mean it in a, your worth is no longer tied to all these different things that cause the crippling anxiety or the depression, or other mental health challenges.
I have nothing to add to that. You crushed that.
No, I already.
Okay, I'm going to combine two questions here. Dark Wolf, I always feel like everyone else is miles ahead of me in life. I don't care what they think about me, but it's hard to ignore what I think about me, and it's depressing. How do I stop? And then Becca, similar. I feel like everyone has a light bulb moment that kind of decides what they should do career-wise for the rest of their lives. And I haven't had my light bulb moment yet, and I'm over 30. Am I broken? I could do a much longer answer. For the sake of time, I'm just going to be very direct and meld these two together.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Comparison is the thief of joy. It is. Comparison is a thief of joy, but also you're shoulding. You are
My computer restarted. It's ridiculous.
That's okay. Just turn it on.
Sorry.
You're shooting all over yourselves. There is no timeline. There is no have this done by this point to be a success in life. I could tell you that therapists, bartenders, clergy, and hairdressers are the people that others open up to a lot about everything that's going on in their lives. And you ask any one of us, and we will tell you, everybody's kind of struggling.
It looks so pretty from the outside.
Yeah, everyone's got their Instagram life, right? And so one of my very best friends, he's my age, he's 42. He for a long time wanted to marry, wanted to have children, saw all of his friends marrying, having children, and that wasn't something that was happening for him. And he's an attractive, smart, funny guy. I mean, he's wonderful. Alicia and I both adore him. And I've been visiting with him, every time I'm in Utah to film content. And, his life has grown into something so incredible and so powerful. And his ability to reach and help and serve people and to find fulfillment in doing that is unparalleled. He's the most connected person I know. And honestly, he's the most loved person I know. And that's because he says, this is what my life is. What I wanted was marriage and family. It's not what I have. So what am I going to do? Practice radical acceptance and make a great life for myself. You don't have to have it all figured out, right? I kicked myself all through my late 20s. We come from a faith culture that very intensely leans on people to get married and have babies, to the point where if you're in your mid to late 20s and you're not married and having kids, the culture is a little bit like, what's up? Which is weird, because if you get outside of that culture, late 20s, not married, not having kids is like nothing. But I was in my late 20s. I was in graduate school. I was about to become an unmarried marriage counselor, and I was really freaking out about where I should be in life. And the thing that brought me peace, and the thing that helped me to stop trying so hard in dating and scaring people off, was recognizing, like, I'm good. I'm doing things that I love, and I'm growing as a person, and I have people that I care about. The fact is, history is full of people who take one path and in middle age do a pivot and do something else entirely, right? And I mean, not using Arnold Schwarzenegger as an example for everything, because obviously he's got relationship problems, but from bodybuilder to actor to politician, like he's reinvented himself over and over. So if you're trying to figure out who you are, or if you feel like you're a loser because you haven't achieved this, that, or the other, none of that's based in objective reality. It's based in self-judgment or the judgments of others. And, to heck with them. You got to do you. How do I stop delusions? That depends on the delusion, depends on the person. So the short answer is cognitive behavioral therapy. The longer answer would depend on what's specifically going on. Okay, I think we're going to close for questions. We'll answer the few questions we have left, just because we've got courses to film tonight. My partner and I took the personality test, and we both got healer/thinker. These personalities seem to contradict one another. Is this a common pairing? Yes, it is. Healer and thinker are both introverted.
And you tend to be attracted to your opposite. Not maybe as a broad stroke, maybe not as opposite as you and I are. There's usually a little bit more overlap than you and I have.
We have like no overlap except for Mexican food.
Except for Mexican food. Well, seemed like a good idea at the time.
Has cinema therapy thought about King's Speech? Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to it. Looking forward to emotional intelligence course. Yeah, we can do an emotional intelligence. Where can I take the personality course? mendedlight.com/25 to sign up for our membership site and get 50% off. Some people are going to have to bow out soon, they're saying, but they're thanking us. Why do humans need to be loved?
Why is that a human need?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never had that. Like because we're
okay. Look,
wired that way.
I'm a psychology student and I'm a man of faith. So if you look at like philosophically, theologically, we need to love and to be loved because of the divinity within us and because we're all part of the same family. If you look at it from evolutionary theory, psychology, we're tribal. Loving and being love ensures the survival of the species, right? We stick together, we provide for each other, we protect each other, and we help each other with our emotional traumas so that we not only survive, but we also have a high quality of life. I kind of believe in throw all of that in a blender, and I subscribe to that. So,
well, I love those two answers, and it's kind of like pick one or the other, or pick both, depending on your worldview.
I'm being forced to believe a mindset like what you are saying from family, town, etc. Town is filled with okay. Oh, I think they're forced into a home that they don't want to be, and how do you get out of that? I go to mendedlight.com, schedule a complimentary call with one of our team. That situation specifically, we would need more information in order to counsel you on. I'm not trying to brush you off. I'm trying to direct you towards where you could get the support you need. You're enough. I would personally love to see content on religious trauma and healing from it in the future. Yeah.
That would be a good one. I have a phrase.
Because we're religious people who acknowledge the reality of religious trauma.
Yeah. Well, I call it religious manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it is prevalent. Toxic.
We've got a great cinema therapy on Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame, but that's more about the traumatizer, like how to recognize a religious and spiritual abuse. On Mended Light, we could do a video on overcoming, like recovering from religious trauma. Okay, no, we'll do that. Let's write that down as a video idea. I would love to. Okay, you guys are so cute. Yeah, we are.
It's you.
Yeah, I make you look good. That's 100% what's going on.
Video on borderline personality disorder. A couple other. That's someone else asked that earlier.
OCD, borderline personality disorder. Okay, you got it. All right, awesome, guys. It's been a delight celebrating your successes and answering your questions. What were you gonna say?
Yeah. Okay. So from the membership site, this is our last month. We're doing the tumblers, and this is our tumbler. I am enough. If it's not blurry. And here's my favorite feature is the lid says it too. Okay, this was my foray into understanding merch and doing merch and all that stuff. Guys, there's so much stuff. People make it look so easy. I'm like, there's some process to figure out. And because I'm a thinker, I have to do it the right way. No, I've balanced that out a lot, but there's still there has to be order, there has to be logic, or it drives me crazy.
Yeah. Whereas I'm like it's good enough type person. So
yeah.
We've helped each other grow.
We do every day. So this is something that's only been available to our membership site winners. But as I'm figuring out how to do merch well and making it a win for everybody, because really I want it to be a win for you guys, right? So I never want to do something that I then can't fulfill on, which is one of my concerns as a business owner and, parent to 5 kids and all of those other things. So I'm going to read the winners from the membership site, but then I want to ask you guys, should we do more of these? Is this something you want to buy? I'm going to look into some stuff about Feelings Just Are, getting that on some merch, and I got some other ideas. But what do you want? What would you love, right?
Mm-hmm.
Inspirational notebooks are definitely on the agenda.
Stickers. Kat says she would buy what you were just showing.
Okay.
Can you take the personality test on one account, or does each partner need their own account? On one account, you can download download it.
You can totally. You don't need per account. You can do it on. Yeah, it's super
hoodies.
Easy to do it. Hoodies. I did write that down from what people said.
You're a big hoodie person.
I am a big hoodie person.
You are. You get cold so easily.
Yeah.
You're like a little shivering chihuahua.
That's me. I'm the chihuahua. Is there a hoodie company that's good? Because here's the other thing when it comes to merch. I hate crap stuff. despise it. So it has to be good quality and like testing it out. And so when it comes to hoodies and t-shirts, like good quality, like if you're in the know, let me know. But also
Women's
look into
Fit
it.
T-shirt. People like the t-shirts. Yeah, mini posters.
Okay, so there's one fun thing. After I announce these winners this month, I want to share something that I've been thinking about for months, and I'm just going to do it, even if I don't have a full plan, which is very non-thinker of me. So our winners this month and we do have a couple of stickers that go along with this. One of the stickers is therapy is cool.
Is it going to therapy is cool or therapy is cool?
Going to therapy.
Going to therapy is cool.
Yeah, is the sticker, and I have some of those stickers. I'm going to grab them.
Blankets, notebooks.
Blankets, yeah, that'd be good. And then the other one is Keep Shining, We Need Your Light is the other sticker. Anyways, it's adorable. Our 13-year-old daughter took to the Going to Therapy is cool and added it to, she's got a water bottle covered in stickers. And I was like, oh, it makes me smile every time.
Dog merch.
Oh,
I love it.
Weighted blankets are the best. I don't know how I lived without a weighted blanket.
Aisha, good luck in your interview for your master's degree application. Cat merch. I'm really bouncing around now. Bandanas like Rambo.
That could be cool.
Kat says, speaking of Kat, she's going to sign up for our membership. So.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Make sure you do the Mended Light /25. That gives it to you half off for forever. So Rebecca B, Regina W, Linda B, Cynthia L, and Taloon E are all the winners for our membership site this month. Okay.
So they're gonna get sent some of the stuff.
They're gonna get sent this. So this and the stickers. Get a little gift basket. If you're an international peep, we got some other options for you.
Okay.
If you caught the beginning of this live, and we're an hour in, we try and keep it to 45 minutes, but we just get here and we're having so much fun.
We like interacting with you.
Yeah. So at the beginning, I talked about like the goal of this and really what we're doing with Mended Light as a whole. But the reason we make sure we do a live once a month and we share wins and we ask questions is we really want to do as much as possible to create community, supportive, healthy, healing community. And one of the joys of the internet is there's a lot of us talking this way and not as much, back and forth.
Yeah.
But one thing I would like to do, and I've been thinking about this for months, and I finally, I think, brought it up with you for like the 4th or 5th time, and I was like, we're just going to do it. On this live, we're just going to do it. So self-expression is such a powerful tool when it comes to healing, right? We are going to do like a monthly art thing.
This is cool.
Art's a loose word, right? It's whatever creative self-expression you want to have, do, whatever. And we're going to have themes to it. And if you want, it's all going to go up on a part of our website. Like submit your pictures, your drawings, your pottery. Like I don't take a picture of it. It doesn't matter, right? If you can do it anonymously, you can do it with your name and like a brief bio. If you are a graphic designer or you do this sort of thing for work, I'm happy to include an email or a link. But basically we want to have a part of the membership site where we can celebrate you guys, your creative self-expression, your healing. Do it anonymously, do it with contact info. If we can promote your business because of the amazing creative person you are, we'd love it. Love all the things. The theme for this month is going to be I am enough, right? So, and if you want to submit something that doesn't go along with that theme, cool. We'll just, put it in another section, but we'll have all the I am enough stuff in one area of the website.
So how do they send that?
Yeah, I'm going to get a Google form together. So here's the thing.
So we'll post it in the YouTube community.
Yeah, we'll post it in the YouTube community. I'm hoping you can do it through a Google form and there's the ability to attach something to the Google form and send it in that way. And there's not a max size, but I haven't looked into that enough because I want you to be able to fill out kind of like template questions.
Sure.
Do you want, whether it allows you to be anonymous or include your name? to include an email address or not, and then if you want to include a short description. And I really want that all of those details to just be your own choice. You could fill out all of it, none of it, parts of it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'd like it to be done through a Google form, so it's as easy and simple and supportive for you. What do you guys think? Like, and I know not everybody is like artsy, whatever, but is that a win? Does that help with creating community? Like, is that something that like gets you excited?
They're excited.
Okay.
Rachel Ruby says that she's a tattoo artist.
Oh, I love that. Down. Yeah, I love that. So like, yeah, even if it's something like you physically create, like not digitally, like
take a picture of
it. Take a picture and submit it. And we would love to be able to include that on our website. And if you have any ideas for, you know, doing that sort of thing where we can create community in this digital world, while also supporting, you know, you in your journey, like that's what we're here for. So
Alicia, you just keep getting cooler, says Heather Mayhew.
Oh, thanks.
It's true.
We were filming last month. It was June. Last month was crazy. It's only in the last week I feel like this summer has like slowed down even a little bit. But I walked into a coffee shop to pick up a drink, and the person that was really checking me out, she goes, "Hi, I know you from YouTube." And I was like, "Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm just going to shoot more YouTube videos." Anyways, her name was Emma. She was a doll. And
you guys like talked about ideas for the channel for a while, right?
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. Like, if I ever run into any of you guys in the real world, I would love to chat with you.
Yeah. Always stop us. It's never weird for us. We love it.
Yeah, I'd love to chat with you and just connect. But while I was talking to Emma, I had this idea, and I asked her, one, like, what's something that we do that's like your favorite? And then two, like, what's something you would like us to, you know, see us do? And I love the feedback from her. And she was like, I love it when you and Jonathan do videos together. Like, I like your energy. And I was like, cool. Because that's something we've done a ton more of over the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, you used to do a lot of videos alone, and now you don't do hardly any videos alone.
No.
I'm always there.
No.
And then she gave me some really great ideas, and she was like, I'd love to see a video on how to create like connection in this digital, social, online world. And I was like, that's powerful. I love that.
Rachel and Emma are coordinating. Emma's going to get a tattoo of our faces saying "you're enough." They're actually.
Oh my goodness. You know, that's, I'm honored.
Sonar Illusion Fox thinks I'm adorable.
You are adorable.
Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna post more about it on the art thing, but I want to be doing this art thing like every month. So this month's theme is I Am Enough. We'll get it posted on our socials. We'll have like either a landing page or something that shares the information, and a part of the website that has like all of this. And maybe we'll even put the themes out like a couple months at a time, if that's something you would be into.
And someone asked for the ability to submit video content. You have our permission if you want to like pull clips from our videos and repurpose them as some sort of montage or any sort of video. Like, we love to see. I love to see that sort of. That's my art is video montages. I do on my Jonathan Decker YouTube channel. You can see our global travels. I do music videos for the countries we go to. So that I relate to that. That's my art. Okay. I think we got everything.
Yeah. Coloring book. Okay. Yes. I am hoping to create like a inspirational mantra coloring book. Like, that's my next thing. And if I didn't feel such a strong desire to be responsible all the time, it would already be done. But guys, no, seriously, I would love to create, like, if people wanted to do this, like a submission for a coloring book of like our community's art, like people's with like their story, like anonymous or non-anonymous, once again, whatever, but like like a piece of art someone created to
Yeah.
color, and then like a blurb about their story. I just think that would be so cool. We're gonna get there. This I Am Enough is for the month of July is our first step. So,
Can I sing something from Hunchback of Notre Dame on the channel for fun?
on the channel, like live? You can submit it.
You know what just came to my mind is I was gonna start singing "Go the Distance," and I'm like, that's Hercules. I want you two to do a Disney song challenge and sing it. Alicia sounding more like a dreamer. I'm rubbing off on her. Well, no, that actually Alicia's always had that energy in her when it comes to helping people. Is where you see her dreamer. She gets really dreamery with our kids. She has all sorts of fun activity ideas and adventure ideas. So yeah.
Cool.
I can sing the song from Hunchback of Notre Dame, but I only know it in Spanish. Sueña por una mañana.
The Hunchback of what? What are we talking about now?
Un nuevo destino puede llegar. That's for some reason I only know the song from Hunchback of Notre Dame in Spanish, but
that's
Don't Attempt Michael Bolton. That's too. You know what? I'll do what I want. But yeah, I actually 20 years ago I could crush that, but yeah, I don't have it anymore.
Let White Chocolate sing something again. We should, if we ever do some sort of meetup, it should involve karaoke and a live band.
Yeah. Yep. Let's do it. All right, guys, we're gonna sign off because I know we got plans to film tonight.
It would be so much more fun to sit here and hang out with you guys than it would.
That's why we went long. We love you and we're avoiding more work.
It's so much work all the time. Why do we do this?
Thank you guys. Lots of love to you. Good night.
Bye.